1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a level check from the Fox 19 Streaming Center. If you're watching on Facebook or if you're on any of the other platforms, they're all pretty much active. So you should be hearing this level check, getting ready to do the Streaming Weather Center live show that starts at 7:15, and hopefully I'll have some really useful information for you. And we do have some big potential changes in the forecast. Remember, it's opening day coming up Thursday, and the changes aren't necessarily good news around the tri-state. So again, this is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. I'll be with you in under 1 minute. Okay. And might as well open the Diet Mountain Dew and get it started right now. Okay, hi everybody, this is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer in the Streaming Center at Fox 19 Now. Have you ever had one of those days where you just can't believe it's like you're sprinting all day long and you don't have time to catch your breath? Well, this is one of those for many reasons. Opening day's coming up. We're the official weather provider for the Cincinnati Reds. So we've got to get a bunch of stuff ready for that. We've got to get our software ready for the scoreboard. When there's a rain delay down at Great American Ballpark, the right field scoreboard has the radar showing you so you can see what rain's coming your way. We're getting that worked up. We're getting our internal operations worked out so that we can provide the needed weather information for the Reds. We're hiring new people. It's just one of those days when so much stuff is going on, you can't believe that you didn't even get half of it done. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a look at the radar here behind me full screen. And you see there's a wide area of rainfall. Now that's all pretty light. Wet roads, a few puddles, no big areas where there's ponding, no torrential rainfall, no lightning and thunder. It's just rain. We get a lot of this every year in Cincinnati. Unfortunately, it does mean traffic is slowing down, but we had no reports during the evening shows of any major traffic snarls, so that's good news. And what you can see here is you can see that the rain is kind of already the back edge of it almost to Indianapolis. So if we drag the map over this way, you can see that when you get into northwestern Indiana, there's just not much up there. And that's the stuff that's coming our way for later on. So if you look, here's Indianapolis. There's the back edge of the rainfall right there. And this is clearing. So I expect to see dry roads and a partly cloudy and spots clear sky for the morning commute. But the rest of this evening, kind of that chilly rain coming down. Whenever temperatures are in the 40s and you've got this rain coming down, it's damp enough, it's chilly enough, it's just kind of that clammy feeling that not too many people really enjoy. So there's that's the latest on the radar. If we zoom out a little bit, you can see that there is more off to the north and west. Okay, and what I'm talking about is up here around north of Iowa, up here into Minnesota, around Minneapolis. That shower activity model say will die out as it comes our way. Unfortunately, there is more where that came from, and some of it looks like it's heading here for opening day. Now, what I want to mention to you is that every once in a while you'll have a day when all the models kind of agree and they're converging on a solution to what's happening. Well, we've got one model, the worst case scenario model, I'm calling it right now, which I'll show you, that says rain will be in here by 10 or 11 a.m. on Thursday. We've got another model that says rain, and that's the best case scenario model, won't get here until late evening or even after midnight into Friday. So we've got models that are this far apart, and we are working diligently to give you the best information we can. I've been texting back and forth with Ethan Emery, with Aaron Ashley this afternoon, and we're all just like, oh boy. Okay, so it's going to take quite a lot of brain power here to kind of figure this out. And I'll show you what we're up against, and I'm not complaining. This is the job I selected to do. I love doing my job. I just like to be able to give you accurate information, and we're not having such, the models are just being, they're changing rapidly, and that's one of the things, and the changes are for the worse as far as the weather goes on opening day. So let's go ahead This is our camera. And again, the rain out there is not too heavy. We've had light rain off and on, and notice the visibility pretty good. Sometimes you can't even see the control tower. This is the control tower right here at CVG, and you can't even see that many times when the rain's coming down. But visibility is pretty good, and that tells you the rain is pretty light out there. But look at that temperature, 46 degrees. Now for this opening day parade, and this is all tentative, because if the worst case scenario model is correct, we're going to have some rain during the parade. Okay, so right now we're sticking to the forecast we've had. The model that typically works out the best most of the time is still saying late Thursday evening we should see some rain, and we're just waiting for new runs to come across. But each time we see one of the new runs come across, it doesn't make us feel very good about the weather for opening day. So temperatures rising to about 54. Now, here's what one thing I want to tell you. These are the temperatures that we have in the forecast without rain. If the rain starts to come down during the parade, you can take several degrees off these, so it might be a really chilly opening day parade, wet and sloppy out there. And I've already talked to some of our engineers. All of our field equipment has to be covered up, and they're already getting ready to have rain, kind of rain tarps and things that protect the equipment from the water. They're getting ready for that. So that's the story on the opening day parade. Right now, the way our forecast stands, it looks pretty good, but some of the models are saying no. Temperature has dropped to 37 in Richmond, Indiana. It never ceases to amaze me, and I hit the wrong keyboard here or there, how chilly Richmond, Indiana is. Now, that airport is closer really to Liberty and Connorsville than it is to Richmond as the crow flies. So if you're in Connorsville or Liberty, your home thermometer may say upper 30s. 40s elsewhere around the tri-state, 46 at CVG, 48 at Lunken. So this evening, the sun sets at 7:55, so that's 35 minutes from now. We'll see temperatures drop off to around 41. Now remember, our 7 p.m. temperature was forecast to be 48. With the rain coming in and cooling the air, we're 2 degrees off. That's not bad. We like to be, zero. We like to be right on, or at most 1 degree off. But 2 degrees off, we'll have to see how that comes around. But overall, I don't think we see much more cooling this evening. It's going to be rapid, and so overnight we will drop off into the lower 30s. So tonight we're talking about a low temperature down to about 33. Notice the wind's calm, so no wind chill to worry about. The sun's up at 7:32. So by the morning, the roads should be dry. Skies clear to partly cloudy. Temperatures will range from some rural areas in the upper 20s, mostly in the low 30s, and the wind chill negligible because the winds will be nearly calm around the tri-state. And then for tomorrow, the high temperature about 54 degrees. I think we break out into some sunshine, or at least sunny periods every once in a while, but I say sunny to partly cloudy skies around the tri-state. And some models are saying the chance of a sprinkle. Okay, so this is what this model says at 8:20 p.m. Notice it doesn't seem to have as much rain out there as we see on radar, but some of what you're seeing on radar is really cloud level moisture. It's hard to filter that out. By the time we get to 3:20 a.m., it's down into the low 30s already, and by 8:40, we've got some high cloud cover moving back in, but it all adds up to a dry morning commute. This particular model does not pick up on any shower activity until we get into the evening hours and then off to the north and east. So from Hamilton and Middletown to Lebanon, Wilmington, maybe Hillsborough gets a brief shower during the evening hours. And then Thursday morning, 2:45 a.m., nothing going on. At 8:20 a.m., according to this model. Now remember, this is the model that I'm calling the worst case scenario for opening day. All right, this model has already got showers popping up Thursday at 8:20 a.m. Now, the model that we trust the most in the long term is the European model, and that still is bringing in rain late evening or after midnight. This particular model, the worst case scenario, often is a little bit overzealous early on in the forecast period. So we're again talking about the chance of Ethan, if you're watching the show, I'm going to have to call you and ask you what your comment was about here. It has nothing to do with this. So I'll get back with you here in a few minutes. So this particular model tends to be a little bit overzealous with rainfall early on in the forecast period. So I'm hoping, I've got my fingers crossed. I've been walking around with my crossed fingers throughout most of the day. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look then. Oh boy, let me stop the rundown. Just do this manually. Okay, so this is Thursday at 2:10 p.m. According to this particular model, let's see here. I have to move some windows around to get to this. According to this particular model, let's back this up. You can see right there, we've got some periods of fairly heavy rainfall, and there could be some thunder in that. But notice this heavy rainfall near Batesville, heading down towards Vivi, all looks like it's going to stay south and east. Remember, the parade and the baseball game here on Thursday are right here, okay? And so this only says scattered showers in and about the area around the game. However, let's step through this pretty slowly again, give it to you full screen. And and you see that the rain doesn't get particularly heavy except for a short time, late morning, early afternoon, and by the time we get to 1:40, it's beginning to dry out. We're keeping our fingers crossed that it continues to dry out, but it looks like it might be okay for the game. So overall, that's basically what we are looking at. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at a little longer look at the view, longer out in time. So here we go. And there you see, this is what the model that is the best case scenario shows, okay? That rainfall, notice the clock up there, the timestamp is 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Okay, so 8 a.m. on Friday. And that shows that rainfall doesn't come until overnight, Thursday night and Friday. So this model is the one we're hoping is right because this one does not bring rain in for the parade or for the game. This model is standing alone right now. Almost every other model, I've found one other that doesn't have it, but so 2 models out of about 16 are saying no rain until after the game is over. So the problem that we're having is that the models that we trust a lot are saying nothing, but everybody else is ganging up on the wet side for the day on Thursday, and so we're probably going to start talking about rainfall coming in during the day on Thursday. So if you happen to be a fan of the opening day parade, if you happen to be going to the game or the parade, I would begin to get your rain gear ready because it might be something you don't want to have to look for at the last minute. All right. So then we go forward in time, and you can see that as we head on into, this is Sunday, it shows a kind of a big area of moisture moving northward out of the deep south coming our way, and that itself could be a problem, okay? And let's see. The Climate Prediction Center is saying we're going to be warmer than normal, but what I want to do right now is I want to take a look at take a look at what the Storm Prediction Center is saying for this particular Sunday. Okay, it'll come up here in just a second. There we go. All right, so what we're looking at here is this is the day 6 outlook from Sunday 8 a.m. to Monday 8 a.m. And it is showing a large area of slight risk. And notice the entire Fox 19 Now viewing area right here is included in that slight risk. The last time the Storm Prediction Center did this, and it's kind of uncharacteristic, SPC, they put this out for 2 days now. This is the 3rd day they put this out. And so we're beginning to look at Sunday as the potential for A, some heavy rain, and B, not only some heavy rain, but the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms. I had the question yesterday, does it look like a big outbreak? No, it doesn't look like a big outbreak now, but it does look like Sunday could be an issue. Okay, so that will definitely keep us on the busy side. So, okay. All right, so that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the chance of rain, rain during the day on Thursday. Some models have it in here for the parade, drying out for the game. Some models have it dry for the parade, wet for the game, and a couple of models have it coming in very late. Right now, the best thing a meteorologist can do is wait for the next couple of runs, see what the trend is on each individual model, and that'll give us a much better idea of what is going on. All right, so let's get back to the Climate Prediction Center here. It'll come up here in just a second, and there we go. So the Climate Prediction Center says up through the 4th of April, we're looking at warmer than normal weather. This is kind of what happens at the end of a La Nina winter. Tends to be warmer than normal along the Gulf Coast, cooler than normal as you get far to the north and northwest. And so this is kind of fitting into the pattern of the decaying La Nina that almost never was. Okay, and again, every once in a while, one of these comes through. This is all done automatically from the Climate Prediction Center, but this is supposed to be a reddish color. So this is warmer than normal. Somehow they come in differently. I'm not sure why, and I didn't have a chance to change that. So we're still looking at warmer than normal weather for the Fox 19 Now viewing area through the 8th of April. And last Friday, the 3 to 4 week outlook came across, and that puts most of the lower 48 warmer than normal. Okay, now precipitation-wise, through the 4th of April, greater than normal precipitation, and I'll show you our beyond the 7-day forecast here coming up in a few minutes. And that beyond the 7-day forecast kind of agrees with this, actually agrees with it quite a lot. It stays a little bit wetter than normal through the 8th of April, and then through the 20th of April, the 3 to 4 week outlook has us going to near normal. And I think I probably agree with that, but it might be a little bit wetter than that, but definitely looks like we are in for warmer than normal weather as we head into April, and then staying a little bit warmer than normal through most of April, and staying wetter than normal until it begins to dry out late in the month of April. So your 7-day forecast then looks like this. Low tonight of 33, a high tomorrow of 54. Partly cloudy, so it will begin to clear out overnight, partly cloudy out there. And again, off to the north and east, let's say from Middletown through Clinton County, Waynesville maybe Lebanon, Hillsborough, may see a brief pop-up shower during the late afternoon and early evening. Okay, 34 and 58 on Thursday. Thursday, of course, is opening day, and what's going on there is this. Your forecast for opening day calls for 58 at the first pitch, 55 in the 7th inning, 53 at the end of the game, and then notice that I've put the shower icon on here. This is consistent with what the best case scenario model showed late in the game or after the game, a little bit of rainfall. Now, temperatures here, 58, 55, 53. If the rain comes in for the game, these will all more than likely be chillier than that. So if you're planning on going to the game and we find out there's going to be rain, plan on your rain gear and something underneath that rain gear to keep you warm, because it will get quite chilly if you're sitting in the stands in the damp air during the game. We're keeping our fingers crossed that the best case scenario model is the one that's going to end up being correct. Scattered showers and breezy on Friday. And look at Friday's temperature, 74 degrees there. That's 74, of course, well above normal. The Reds do not play on Friday because Friday is the backup day in case the game on Thursday does get rained out. Saturday, the Reds do play. It's a 4:10 game. It's 71 for the high, so they started at about the warmest part of the day. So Saturday looks good, and Sunday could be quite a problem. We're waiting till we get through opening day and that to talk more about that being a first alert weather day. But as we get closer and closer, it's beginning to look like Sunday going to be an issue. Monday, a few showers and breezy. Tuesday, mostly cloudy and 52. Okay, then let's go ahead and take a look at beyond the 7-day forecast. So we have temperatures a little bit below normal, about normal, well above normal for a 3-day stretch here, cooling off to below normal in the 7-day forecast. So let's go ahead and take a look at what beyond the 7-day forecast looks like. We're looking at every single day but one in the 60s. And we are also talking about this going through the 8th. And notice daily chances of rain. We're in a very, very active weather pattern. And when you get a very active weather pattern like this, you get a lot of little systems that come through pretty quickly. They all bring a little bit of rain. They all move off pretty quickly. This isn't one of the big storms that brings big thunderstorms, big rain events and that. But we're in a pattern that's active and brings numerous little systems that bring scattered showers to the area, okay? And so that'll continue through the 8th. Here is what we're looking at in the 7-day plus, okay? There are the high temperatures, there are the lows. Now we're going to add the normal lines on, and you can see we do dip below normal both on the high side and the low side for a short time, right at the beginning now, in the next couple of days, and then again around the 1st of April. But most of the time in this 14-day stretch, we are a little bit warmer than normal, and remember, wetter than normal. So the takeaway is the same as it was yesterday. Near to above normal temperatures for the most part as we head through the 8th of April. It's a very active weather pattern that continues. So the small events that we're getting in the next 2 weeks will eventually give way to stronger, bigger events as we head into late April and May. No early hot weather signs and no seasonally extreme cold weather coming our way either. So we're not going to see a return to winter for a while. We're not going to see an early visit of summer. It looks like it's just going to be about normal temperature-wise with plenty chances of getting some rainfall. Okay, now let me see what's going on Facebook, see if anybody's got any comments. Melissa Wood says, hello, Steve, from Augusta, Kentucky. Beautiful community. Augusta, I just love Augusta. And I love the whole Ohio River thing there, and Augusta is very historic. So, Melissa, you live in a great place, and thank you for watching. Jeff Beechler, Mr. Snow Guy, says, hope I'm having a great day. Hope we get just rain this weekend and nothing bad, LOL. Yeah, and we're hoping that too. Because the Reds do play on Sunday, and Sunday could be one of those days that really challenges our ability to make sure you all know what's going on. Molly Purcell says, good evening. Hopefully you had a good day today. Yeah, a good day. Busy, kept me running. I'm kind of frazzled right now. But every once in a while, it's nice to know that you serve a purpose. Molly's missing the 70-degree temperatures already. When's the warmer air coming back? Well, I just showed you, and you can see that right here. We've got 3 days here in the 70s. That's Friday, the 28th, 29th, and 30th, although Sunday could be that stormy day. And then we're back into the upper 60s and lower 70s for an extended period of time, Molly. Okay? Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff, a lot of chatter going on social media and that about Sunday. And we're taking Sunday seriously. Too early to tell if it's going to be a widespread outbreak. But overall, I think we have a very good chance of seeing some severe weather in the tri-state. Pamela Williams wants to know what the weather's like in Concord, Ohio. Well, give me a second to find out where Concord, Ohio is, Pamela. Okay, let's see. All right, there. The internet's an amazing thing, isn't it? Okay, Concord, Ohio. Oh, okay, Concord, Ohio is right off Lake Erie. It's northeast of Cleveland along the lake, and not quite to Ashtabula, and pretty far north of Chagrin Falls. So what's the weather like in Concord, Ohio? Okay, well, we can do a couple things here. First of all, I can take a look at what the weather is like up in Cleveland. Let me see here. Weather in Cleveland is on the cool side like this, not raining up that way. And they also have that chance of getting some strong storms. Not quite as big of a chance we have on Sunday, but they will probably not see the rain on Thursday because that's staying more south in Ohio. But Concord, Ohio is a little bit cooler than us and will stay that way. They'll get the same warming trends, but they won't have it in the 70s these days, and they'll probably be in the upper 50s to lower 60s through that stretch of time. All right. Okay, Sean Hogan says, missed the Sunday and Monday forecast. What was the prediction again, Steve? Okay, for Sunday and Monday. Sunday, Sean, is the day that the Storm Prediction Center, and let me call that back up here. Okay, I didn't realize I was off camera. Let me call that back up here. The Storm Prediction Center says this is what the severe risk looks like on Sunday. So this is Sunday 8 a.m. to Monday 8 a.m. So the system should come through here during the day, later in the day on Sunday. We'll probably start seeing rain earlier, but the strongest part of the system. By Monday morning, we'll be on the back side of it, which means kind of breezy, cooler weather with some lingering showers. So we're talking about rain that could be heavy, storms that could be severe Sunday. By Monday, it becomes breezy, cooler, with a few lingering showers in the tri-state. So that kind of takes that. And then and that holds for the Batavia area too, Sean. Everybody is kind of in the same boat here when it comes to Sunday. Steve Salmon wants to know how much rain Wyoming, Ohio will get tonight. Well, you've got most of what you're going to get. It's probably going to be out of here by 11 o'clock, and I think the total you're going to have for all day is going to be somewhere around 0.2 of an inch. And right now, let me see. Let me give you an idea what radar is. Now, the radar estimations aren't always the best, but it puts you in the ballpark generally with rainfall amounts. And so let's see, storm total precipitation, and it says oh, there we go. Okay, now I got it. That in the Wyoming area, you've only gotten about 1/10 of an inch of rain so far. Okay, and you might get another 1/10. So under a 1/4 inch, I think, will be the total for that. Rose Jones Jawinski says, Ohio tonight? No storms in Ohio, just some light rain. That rain in the Cincinnati area comes, right here in Cincinnati, comes to an end before 11 o'clock, the way it's looking. And everybody in our viewing area will be dry before the morning commute. So rain coming to an end here in Ohio, but no severe weather. When is the snow coming back? Well, I guarantee you, Jeff, that by the January 1st of next year, we'll see at least a little bit of snow. Let's hope it doesn't come back this spring. We've got enough to handle right now. Okay, and Jeff wants to know if there's any risk that they will move the severe risk, this severe risk south out of Ohio. I do not think so. And as a matter of fact, what they've actually done is move it a little bit further north as we progressed. So I think what you see here is about what you're going to stay with. Now, they'll fine-tune that, the Storm Prediction Center will. As we get closer, they can see how all the system elements are coming together. And in the final analysis, it might be a little bit different than this. But at this point, from what I've seen, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to look at it because I've been pounding my head on the wall to try and figure out what's going to happen on Thursday. But from what I've seen, I think it's pretty much going to stay this way until we get into Sunday. I don't see any reason for us to reverse this slight risk trend and bring it back to the south. So just now, again, forewarned is forearmed, and that's the idea here. The idea with doing a more extended weather cast here, streaming live, is so that we can answer your questions and make sure that we can say what we have to say in several different ways to make sure that we communicate that the best way to the audience. In most cases, we only have 3 minutes when we're doing the weather on air, and there's a lot of stuff to cover. But now, since we're doing these streaming shows, we have more time to do that. And so I don't think you're going to see significant changes in this part of this area of severe weather risk. I do think we'll probably see at least some severe storms. Are they going to be widespread and really big? Too early to tell. Or are they just going to be a few marginally severe storms? That's still too early to tell. But overall, we had a lot of rain over the weekend. We've had more today. We might get more on Thursday. And so one of the factors we have to consider when we begin to get severe storms is that how wet is the soil? And it looks like the soil is going to be pretty darn wet. And the good news about this whole thing is the trees aren't all leafed out. If you want to know what that's like, stick your hand out of the window driving down the street someday like this, and then bring the fingers together and feel how much more force there is on your hand. Well, without leaves on the trees, even if the soil's wet, the wind won't do as much damage as it could. But once those tree leaves come out, and if you had soil that's wet, there'd be a much bigger deal. So, and the other side of that is it doesn't take monstrous storms to bring down trees when the soil is as wet as it's going to be. So we're going to keep an eye on that. There are a lot of factors going on here. And again, just keep it in the back of your mind that it looks like Sunday could be a severe weather day. We're going to update you, fine-tune the forecast, narrow in on the timing in that as we get closer and closer. And our goal is that you're not surprised, okay? Obviously, we can't control the weather. All we can do is give you the best information possible to make sure that you know what's coming your way and you're not surprised about that. All right, let me go back here and see what's going on. Okay, and that is the last comment. So let me go back here to the forecast, and we'll take a look at this in more detail. Okay, so once again, this is the area that could see some severe weather. It is looking worse and worse as we get to it. As a matter of fact, so many things are looking worse and worse weather-wise. Opening day is not looking really good now, even though for weeks it was looking good. And now Sunday is not looking so good also. So let's start off with this evening's forecast. Okay, temperature right now is 46. We thought it would be 48, so we're off by a couple degrees, but we'll just see what happens as the rain lightens up. The temperature may recover a degree or so. Overnight, down to about 33 degrees. There will be some upper 20s in some of the rural areas tomorrow morning. You may have a frosty windshield to scrape with all the moisture out there. Roads will be dry, clear to partly cloudy skies, temperatures upper 20s to lower 30s, and a negligible wind chill with calm winds. And with calm winds and with a lot of moisture left over in the air from the rain, with temperatures dropping in rural areas down below freezing, and even in the city near freezing, we could see some windshield scraping in the morning. Tomorrow looks like we make it up to about 54 degrees with a partly cloudy sky and that chance for a shower in our northeast corner. So let's go back through that. There you see this is 3:20 a.m. By the time we get through the morning commute, nothing going on. Now watch the northeast corner of our viewing area from Middletown to Lebanon to Wilmington to Hillsborough. There's 3 p.m. and then you see a few showers pop up right there, but nobody else ends up with any rain from that. Oops, didn't want to do that. Okay, and then, so we're going to review that. So here are the showers that may pop up after 3 p.m. tomorrow, right there. As we head on into Thursday morning, not much going on, but then this particular model, which we're calling it the worst case scenario model, shows showers and then shows lots of rain, but there's a bright sign here. And as a matter of fact, as this pushes south and eastward, this is 2:10 p.m., it's 2 hours before the game begins, Great American Ballpark, we may see the weather drying out enough for the game not to be a problem, but this would make the parade a problem around the tri-state. All right, so let's go ahead, take a look at the longer term model. And this is the one we call the best case scenario because this is 8 a.m. Friday, and it really didn't have much rain in here until after midnight, Thursday night, Friday morning. Okay, and then watch the moisture. There it is, the moisture coming in out of the south. Now, one of the things I'm looking at here, over the past couple of days, this kind of slug of moisture here was coming up a little bit further to the west, and so it looks like it might be trying to go farther and farther to the east, and that's a trend that we'll have to keep an eye on, and so that might help minimize the threat of severe weather, and then it pushes off to the east, and we end up drying out. Monday, some lingering showers, but cooler, drier weather on Monday. Warmer than normal through the 4th of April, warmer than normal through the 8th of April, and then warmer than normal through the 20th of April, according to the weather or the Climate Prediction Center. And remember, when we're talking about this stuff, we're talking about average temperatures. So there could be some cold days in there, but they're balanced out by the warmer days. And so when you average it all out over that stretch of time, it ends up warmer than normal. And that doesn't mean every single day is warmer than normal. Okay, precipitation greater than normal through the 4th, greater than normal by a little bit, not really wet, through the 8th, and a near normal through the 20th. And that was the 3 to 4 week precipitation outlook. Okay, so 7-day forecast looks like this. Low tonight, 33. High tomorrow, 54. So it should be a nice day. And again, that chance of a shower popping up in our northeast corner. Here you can see this a little bit better if I do this. 34 and 58 for opening day when the Reds play the San Francisco Giants. If you take a look at the temperature outlook, looks like temperatures in the 50s through the game. If the rain comes in earlier, like some of the models are saying, we may have to knock several degrees off those temperatures. So it could end up being a chilly, kind of damp, wet day at Great American Ballpark. Right now, we're still thinking that the rain comes in later and should not be that big of an issue. Okay, Friday, 74, 71 Saturday, 72 on Sunday. Friday, some scattered showers and breezy conditions. Dry on Saturdays. The Reds do not play Friday. They do play Saturday. And the game's at 4:10, and that would be just about the time of the high temperatures. So it should be nice on Saturday for a ball game. Sunday, not so nice. Sunday could be one of those days when the game never gets played, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it, because I tell you what, after doing this is our 12th year for being the official weather provider for the Reds, and you wouldn't believe how many times, even an hour before the game, when it looks like, oh my gosh, it's going to rain forever, we'll never get this game in. You wait another hour, you see things beginning to change, and you do get the game in. So even though right now it doesn't look hopeful for the game on Sunday, lots of stuff can change, and it could be that the rain literally moves to Anderson Township and it's not raining at the ballpark. I've had that happen before. I've had rain, heavy torrential rainfall, 5 blocks north of Great American Ballpark and nothing falling at the ballpark, and they got the game in. So, and the Reds know that well since we've been working with them. So many things can happen. It's just that we go from forecasting, like now we're forecasting weather for Thursday, but once the game gets going, we're telling them what's going on now and how it's changing. It's called nowcasting. And so, a lot can change, all right? So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that the best case scenario model is the one that's right this time. Okay, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as I said, in the 70s. Then Monday and Tuesday, cooler, back into the 50s. Breezy on Monday with a few lingering showers, but no big rains. Beyond the 7-day forecast, high temperatures one day in the 70s, every other day in the 60s. And because of the very active, energetic weather pattern you see here, we have got daily rain chances. And here's what the 14-day temperature outlook looks like. Put the highs, put the lows, add the normal high and low lines, and that's what you get. You get a couple days cooler than normal, but most of the time warmer than normal as we head toward the 8th of the month of April. All righty. Let me take one more quick check here, see if there's any other comments on Facebook. Let's see here. So let's see. Harvey Day Jr., Pamela Williams, WOIO. Yeah, WOIO is our sister station owned by the same company up in Cleveland. They're also Channel 19. And I'm not sure what, that's just a partial conversation. I haven't seen it all. Jeff Beechler says, I'm thinking about moving to Vermont. Ever been there? Yes, it's a gorgeous place. Vermont and New Hampshire, I love. And I tell you what, some of the hardest backpacking I've ever done are in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, right next door to Vermont. And, you know, most of the time you go out on mountain trails, they do switchbacks, so it's not so steep, not in the White Mountains. It's straight up the hill, straight down the hill. There are times when the trails are so steep you have to take your pack off, climb up the rocks, have somebody hand your pack to you. So, but it's worth it. If you're going to Vermont or New Hampshire, I think you'll like it, especially if you're an outdoors person, Jeff. Melvin Stone Street. Hey, Melvin, haven't heard from you for a while. Yeah, there's going to be some rain tomorrow, but only in a couple of spots northeast of the city. So from Middletown over into Clinton County around Wilmington, maybe to Highland County, maybe into the northern part of Warren County around Waynesville. Maybe a brief pop-up shower late in the afternoon. All right. Stephen Bryce Campbell, is there going to be a tornado on Sunday? Well, you know, it's one of those things, you can't rule it out. You can't say yes. But whenever you get a system like this, that is a distinct possibility. I'm not forecasting it, but it is a possibility. Ricky Wallace says he just needs some good fishing weather. You know what? I wish I could. If I could control the weather, Ricky, I'd give you good fishing weather 365 days a year. All right. So that's it. Thanks for joining me. Join me again tomorrow. And don't forget, we start at 4:30 in the morning. Tomorrow morning, it's Wednesday, so it'll be Catherine Bodak starting at 4:30. Ethan Emery comes in after her, along with Ethan. Meteorologist Aaron Ashley will be in. We'll have our noon live streaming show where we have more information on opening day and Sunday. We're on from 3 to 7 on the air. I'll be back at 7:15, and so hopefully we'll be able to give you all the information you need. But that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Have yourself a nice evening, and please join us again tomorrow so we can give you more I was going to say more concrete forecasting, but at this time it's one of those things where everything's is changing, and so we'll keep you informed to let you know, and hopefully you won't be surprised when it finally gets here.